guys, welcome back to this week's episode. Today we're going to change things up a little bit and actually talk about feeding. So we're actually going to talk on free feeding versus scheduled meal times, behavioral issues like resource guarding, which can be really hard on dogs. And then we're going to end with another fun tip and trick.
Free feed versus mealtime. I recommend having a mealtime, especially for puppies. Most puppies will gobble up their food really fast, and then you have nothing left if you leave it out. If your puppy is free fed, what will happen is they'll eat all their food all at once, and then there's nothing left for the day. Or you start topping it up because your puppy keeps going to the food dish, so they're hungry, or you think they're hungry. We want to make sure that we are not doing that. If you do choose to do a free feed when your dog gets older, that's okay too. Again, only put the daily recommended amount in the bowl. Do not add more to it. The other reason why you would maybe do meal times is if you had 2 dogs in the house, or 3 dogs, or 4, because that happens. This way, nobody's going into other dogs' bowls. So if you have a young dog who's eating puppy food, and then you have a senior dog who's eating senior food, they will then at that point go to each other's food, and then, well, what's the point of having a puppy food and a senior food? Some dogs do resource guard. So they will guard, the biggest one is their food.
Yeah, food is definitely a strong pain point with resource guarding. That's usually where yourselves as owners, myself as an owner, have seen it present itself with my animals. Resource guarding itself is going to happen at any age. Mostly seen, and one of the easiest times in their lives, or that you can actually do as an owner, I feel, is to introduce it quickly as a puppy. That if I see resource guarding starting to present itself, I want to jump on it right away. This is something where you want to be able to manageably handle things around your dog or your puppy so that when you take something away, they don't feel the need to rush in. And usually when they're rushing in, their mouths are what is going to make contact. With that being in your direction, sometimes they can go after a hand, a finger, or something. Or even at times it'll be if something is moving quickly past, they think they need to go and stop it. Now, a way to practice this is to do it with their toys. I also like to do this with treats, being able to manage it. And it'll simply be that I find with a young puppy, if they present that the rushing at the bowl, the quick one to get in there, I like to be able to do a quick little game with them where I will take just their kibble because that's what they want. They want to be fed. I will drop it in the bowl, they can have it. It's usually a really exciting time for pups and dogs, but it's also something that you can use as management. Resource guarding isn't just an object and it isn't just food. It can actually be that they're guarding you as the owner. I've seen this myself happen with quite a few of clients coming into the shop, and I find that sometimes for our animals, they will put such a high value on yourself as the owner. This is my person, this is my human. And in the dog world, that also leads to protection, and you can also run into a couple of issues there with that. So I find that dogs that like to resource things, they like to put a paw on something because they want to claim it and they want to say, hey, that's mine. And you try to take it away from them, that's where they're either going to keep leaning into it harder, or if you're able to offer something to kind of take that away, then slowly you can kind of draw them away in a nice positive manner. Also with older dogs and rescue dogs, this comes up a lot for us, especially with a lot of people wanting to adopt as opposed to shopping for puppies.
When you do the bait and switch, you want to be able to, if it's an object that's going to hurt your dog, or a very expensive pair of shoes or something like that, we do that bait and switch. But if it's one of their toys or their food, we want them to understand you're going to get it back, right? I'm not keeping that from you, but I still want to be able to take it from you for whatever reason, right? So it's making sure that you give it back, give that object back, whether it be a bone or their food or their toy. Giving it back is reinforcing the fact that, okay, this isn't so bad, I'm going to get it back. If you're feeding a raw diet, sometimes it's a little harder to kind of feed them with their food unless you really wash your hands well after. And it's one of those things too, you don't want to leave that down because it's raw. And a lot of times with raw feeding, because it does smell very good to them, they're going to resource guard that. So yeah, just doing all those little tips that we just mentioned before, but also just, that's why I like the meal times versus the leaving the food down.
Puppies don't have impulse control.
No.
You could put down a bag of food and they're going to eat the whole thing. They're going to get really sick, but they don't know how to do meal times. They don't know better.
No.
Similar to humans, dogs have calorie intakes of how much they should have every day. You can also time it. Having new puppies, I knew my puppies ate 30, 45 minutes later, I'd go for a walk and they'd poop. They'd have their morning poop. Rather than free feeding, you can't start that routine. You can't really predict bathroom breaks.
Yes, absolutely. Just remember though, dog food it's food. They have oils. So when you put that food in the bowl and you're just filling up that bowl, and say tomorrow they didn't eat all that food, and then you just put more on top, that food will actually go stale.
Yes,
and it can also go
stale.
rancid. So you want to make sure that if you're going to free feed, empty the old food and put new food in.
Now to change things up a little bit, guys, we're going to end this video with a training tip. Something that we probably see a good 80% of customers come in, their dog's pulling. You don't know what to do. These people with massive 80, 90-pound dogs that are taking them off their feet, there are some simple tips and tricks that we can give you to help bring that back a little bit.
First things first, dogs do not come pre-programmed knowing what the word heel means. We have to teach them. We have to teach them where that is. Where is the heel? It's not just about the word. Where is that position? So the very first thing I try to do is taking my treat, I hold it in my hand and cup my hand, and then I drop it down by my side. And now my dog's nose is like, oh, what's that? And at that point, I'm saying, heel, and I'm moving forward. The dog's nose is pushing into my hand because they want that treat. The heel position too, for me, would be more of the dog's head is at my thigh. But if you want the dog a little bit further ahead, you can do that. Just move your hand a little bit further. Every once in a while, they just kind of get excited and they want to just go. So I just stop and do a quick turn and go the opposite way. If they're not paying attention, they will hit the end of the leash and go, what happened, right? 9 out of 10 times, it works. Not always. I also use my look command. So that way, when my dog's beside me, they're looking up at me as opposed to looking ahead. A dog pulling towards another dog can set another dog off fairly quick. The excitement level, all that good stuff is just too high, and it could actually cause your dog to, or another dog to attack your dog. And I guess for me, the next thing would be have fun. I know it can be frustrating, and it can also be frustrating for your dog because you're always like, heel, heel, heel. Like, let's have some fun, right? So I will do like little runs and turn really fast, and I'll be like, let's go, and really kind of amp it up, right? Like, let's have some fun with our dogs. It doesn't always have to be a chore to get them to train and to just have some fun. I do a lot of indoor work, and then I take it outside. So it's just so we can get that base level, and then we take it out into distraction. So a lot of the stuff that I actually teach is on inside the house, and then I move on to outside.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed these tips and tricks and meal times, basically. Let us know your thoughts if you enjoyed this. What do you feed? What works for your family? We'd love to know what you do in your house. And we'll see you guys next week. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you love what we're doing. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.